Alright guys, instead of a review today, I decided to put on a shirt I haven't worn in a long time because I kind of keep it as a little trophy. Next month is November, and for those who are not familiar, November of every year is known as National Novel Writing Month, aka NaNoWriMo. National Novel Writing Month is a challenge to write a 50,000 word novel in 30 days. That works out to 1,667 words per day. Now, I'm one of the few people that I know of that actually started writing long before they started reading. Not that I could write before I could read, obviously, but when I was younger, aside from a few Goosebumps books and some Animorph Club stuff, I didn't really do a lot of reading outside of school. It just wasn't something that interested me. I didn't really have a ton of interest in books, no matter how much my dad tried to get me into them. However, throughout the years, I kept writing. I had written hundreds of poems and short stories by the time I left high school, and then I kind of tucked my writing away for good. Enter my final year of university, and I get really nostalgic for the time that I used to write. I really miss the feeling of writing, and I want to try to do it, and not just do it, but try to take it seriously. I ended up finding a writing community online, and there was a guy on that writing community named Stone. And I hope Stone sees this video because I love that guy. He's like a brother to me. And he had written a post after going to something called Superstars Writing Seminar. And basically what Superstars Writing Seminar is a seminar that talks about the business of writing, how to dissect contracts, how to navigate the industry. Super useful seminar that I ended up going to. So I approached Stone and I said to him, you really seem like you know what you're talking about. I tried to write a book with other people before. I don't think I can go it alone. Would you be willing to write a book with me or co-write a book with me? And Stone at the time didn't know me. This was quite a long time ago. It was actually 2011. If you were able to see the shirt, the first and only time that I did NaNoWriMo was in 2011. And Stone gave me two conditions. He said, condition number one, you have to do and complete NaNoWriMo. Condition number two, you have to come to Superstars Writing Seminar. So I did both of those things, and I wrote my first ever novel, which was awful. It was very bad. I went into this novel without any outline, without any plot, without any idea of the characters. I just had one scene in my head, and that scene was of a beaten down warrior being dragged through snowy mountains by two guards. And that was about it. It was just a kind of poetic snowfall scene that I felt like writing. And I took that and came up with a 50,000 word story. After those 50,000 words, I added another 30,000 words on top of them throughout December. And then I hid that manuscript away so that nobody could see it for time immemorial because it really is bad. Now here's the thing. NaNoWriMo novels are supposed to be bad. Because I was able to finish that, I knew that I now had the capacity to write an actual novel. So what I did was I just started a new novel. I wanted to write a completely different story, something that was a little bit closer to the heart, something that I could plan better for, something that I could make into a cohesive story. That novel was also really bad. Now, I don't intend to take you guys on a timeline of every single thing I've ever written. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to explain that now I am completing a novel that I am proud of, that I want to sell, that I would like other people to read as well. But I couldn't do that until I got the crappy novel out of the way. The point of NaNoWriMo isn't for you to become a #1 New York Times bestselling author. The point of NaNoWriMo is to just get the words on the page, to prove to yourself that you can actually partake in this endeavor and then you can complete it. The point is to get past perfection, because perfection is your enemy. You will stare at that blank page, the little cursor will be blinking and blinking and blinking, and you will think, maybe I should start with this line, and then you'll delete it. No, that doesn't sound good enough. Let me start with this line. No, delete it. And then you might write a page and you might think, oh, that sucks. And then you'll delete that too. And then on and on and on and on and on. If you just kept all those lines, if you kept the first 10, 15, 20 crappy pages, you could write another 300 beautiful pages after that and just go back and fix those first few pages after. In fact, this is what I found out part of my writing process is. There are two types of writers in general. This obviously sits somewhere on the spectrum, but there are outliners and there are pantsers. There are gardeners and there are architects, right? Architects need to plan everything out. Gardeners kind of go as the story grows. Me personally, if I outline everything in a story right away, I am bored. I don't feel like writing it because I feel like the story is already in my head. For me, what I need is I need an idea of where I want to go, and I need to discover some part of how to get there throughout the writing process. So now when I tackle a big project, I don't even care about the first 10, 15, 20 pages. On my current novel, I completely rewrote the first 20 pages because they were awful. The point is I would have never known that that was part of my process. I would have never had the confidence to actually tackle a novel. I would have never tried to put one foot in front of the other and finish something I want to publish if I couldn't take that first step and put it on the page and just do the thing. So if you have that itch, if you're a creative individual, if you like playing around with words, if you want to tell a story, it doesn't matter how good or bad that story is. It doesn't matter how good you want that story to be, because if it's your first one ever and you're not used to doing this, it's going to be bad. And that's okay, because you can rewrite it. The point of NaNoWriMo is to get over one of the biggest hurdles of the creative process, and that is yourself. Look, I'm in the beginning stages of this channel, and editing myself, listening to myself speak, posting this up is intensely embarrassing for me most of the time. But it's something that I kind of enjoy doing, enjoy talking about, and I know I need to get past these growing pains just to do it. And at the end of the day, guess what? If these videos suck, I've still learned a little bit of video editing. I've learned how to make thumbnails. I've learned how to use a few more programs. I've learned how to use a mic. I've added these skills. I feel better because I've grown from the experience of the creative process, of just initiating the creative pursuit. And that's not unlike how I felt after I wrote my first novel. I was oblivious to how bad that novel was at the time. There's some lines in that novel that I've been made fun of for nearly a decade, and that's completely okay. There are going to be slip-ups and hurdles and embarrassments on the way to any objective, to any goal, and throughout any pursuit, particularly ones that are creative, particularly ones that force you to put yourself out there and express yourself in the way that's meaningful. However, I can promise you that if you dedicate yourself to at least trying, if you don't get 50,000 words, if you aim for 50,000 and you fall on 20,000, that's 20,000 words that you've created, that you've manifested into reality that would have otherwise never been there. If you only get 10,000 words, if you only got the idea, if it only made you think, to get the cogs working, to get the wheels spinning, to get the imagination working so that you can at least create some spark of the creative process, I think it's a worthwhile endeavor to pursue. So guys, if you're going to take part in NaNoWriMo this year, please let me know. My personal goals for NaNoWriMo are going to be a little bit different. The first time that I ever did NaNoWriMo, I did use it to try to write my first novel. And following years when I did NaNoWriMo, I might have already had a novel written and I used it to get through the editing process of a novel. Now I'm currently in the process of finishing up one of the edits on my novel now. That will be done before November. So what my personal goal for November is going to be is to start my very first nonfiction book. Guys, Neil Gaiman is probably my favorite author, definitely in my top 3. And one of the things that he says all the time is the only way that the writing happens is by writing. Putting one word in front of the other and not worrying about whether or not those words are perfect, but just being concerned with the fact that they exist. The creative process, I believe, is a very special thing that we participate in. This is going to sound a little bit weird, but I think it's borderline a divine process to be a creative person, to bring something into the world that previously didn't exist, and to do so through your particular mind, your perspective that is going to translate the world in the way that only you know it, because nobody else has that same viewpoint as you. So again, guys, if you're going to do NaNoWriMo, please let me know. If you have an idea for it, I would love to hear it. And hopefully you guys can come up with something awesome next month, and I will be right there with you, trying to create something new, create something worth reading, and we'll see what happens on the other end. All right, guys, take care. Os.